Hello and welcome to Day 7 reactions of the G1 Climax 2020. G1 Climax number 30, I believe. Yes, it's me, Randy Andy Datson, joined as usual. Well, not as usual, but mostly as usual by Tempest over here, our resident luchador and New Japan expert. I'm here to save you all because I know you had to deal with Louis Dangor on Sunday, which cannot have been easy for anyone, including yourself, Tempest. So I'm sorry for leaving you. I was on holiday, but I'm now back, and I will be here tomorrow as well. We may even have a special guest tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But yes, welcome to the stream. We will be watching tonight's show, which has a card of Tempest.
Really just softball lobbed it to me there. Yes, the card for tonight's show. I'm going to try and remember it all off the top of my head, perhaps unsuccessfully. But the most important matter is the main event is going to be a rematch of one of my absolute favorite matches of last year, that being Tomohiro Ishii versus Shingo Takagi. Now, these two, oh yeah. I mean, these two work just tremendously together. I mean, Ishii works well with everybody, but these two especially have just incredible chemistry, and I can't get enough of it. Aside from that, Minoru Suzuki is also scheduled to face Yujiro Takahashi.
Wow.
Hopefully it won't go very long. Besides that, we have Kota Ibushi and Jeff Cobb. That should be very fun. Kazuchika Okada against Taichi. Okada had one of Taichi's better matches earlier this year, so maybe we'll get something out of it. And then Will Ospreay and Jay White rounds out the show.
That should be a tasty match. Jay White has really become the kind of sort of I mean, he's main evented pretty much every single one of the shows he's been on, so it feels very much as if they are pushing him as. I mean, obviously he's been pushed in the last couple of years anyway, but this he's 3-0, and you always sort of felt like he was going to win, and I can see him beating Ospreay as well. I mean, I can see Ospreay winning, but I can definitely see. I think you can definitely say that. What's his face?
Jay White.
Jay White. Sorry, it's not as early, but I'm still relatively tired. Jay White will win this one. Let's just quickly start with a super chat from Jobber JJ. He says, thoughts on Mage being replaced by Obari? Will the Forbidden Door be open? Why does every Bullet Club match have to have interference? That's one for you, Tempest.
Yeah, I mean, the thoughts on President May being replaced, I'm going to have to wait and see, to see, the results. I know a lot of people gave Harold May, a hard time, like in 2018 when he really started. I didn't personally find anything super wrong with it, but if this means maybe a new set of eyes looking at it from a business perspective, and who knows, maybe this is what gets a partnership between New Japan and AEW going. I mean, that's a big if. I don't know that that's going to happen, but getting someone new in charge, at least it makes it that much more of a possibility again. And then with Bullet Club having interference, I don't have a good reason. I wish they would stop doing it in every match. Like, I don't need to see it in every match. Sometimes just have Jay White be the better wrestler. That's all you need. You don't need to have Gato come in and do it every single match. As we get started with a Young Lion match. As there are only 3 of these guys, we're going to see every one of these matches probably about 4 or 5 times over by the end of this.
Uemura.
He's so handsome.
Is he?
He's quite buff and stuff.
Has he got the hairy bloke, or has he got Gabriel Kidd? No, he's got the hairy bloke. This was the same match that was on night 1.
Yes.
Yota Tsuji.
You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it.
Well, I went on Twitter now just to tweet our live stream, and clearly people have been hashtagging this, but it's also notable that instead of when I typed in hashtag G1 C, the first thing that came up was not G1 Climax, it was G1 Killmax. So a lot of typos going on there on Twitter.
Yeah, well, it's early.
For that one, yes. What have we got in the chat just as we watch this one? Yes, hit the bell and notifications, says Antonio. Robzilla, Louis Dangle's #1 fan. Not sure about that, Rob. Hey, Andy, missed your puns on the SmackDown podcast last week. I hope you're doing great. Also, I hope Louis isn't annoying you guys even more since Quizmania went. What I'll say is that he has actually been quite quiet about it, but that's because I sort of threatened him that if he wouldn't shut up about it, then I would fire him. That's what you got to do with great managing tip. If you don't want people to talk about stuff, just threaten them endlessly, and they won't. Movie Nation says, whenever you watch a Tai Chi match, you'll probably hear Tai Chi Wakare. It's pretty much a rude saying of Tai Chi go home. Yes. I think we've heard that one the other day. But thank you, Movie Nation. Seth says he's very tired. Seth. Daz Reynolds says, who do you think WWE Rollins will help next? Yuji Uemura in this match. I think he's going to come out. Yes, but thank you for your chats. Keep them coming in, whether they are super or normal. We will hopefully get to them. They can be about New Japan, about wrestling in general, preferably, but also if you just want to ask us some questions, then that's absolutely fine too. Talking about the match, Uemura currently has Tsuji in a wrist lock. Baron Corbin has been teaching these guys well. Oh no, it's been reversed into another wrist lock. Oh no, a headlock. God, this match is brutal. For those who haven't watched these matches a lot, they are basically fundamental wrestling matches where you can only do a certain amount of moves. So you will spot that there isn't a lot of kind of variation in these matches. But that's fine. That's what they're there to do. They are here to learn the fundamentals of wrestling. As I'm sure you can attest to, Tempest, having had your first wrestling match in the last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Young Lion system in New Japan is just about the best way to learn, in general. It's just absolutely excellent. They are taught from really ground zero. And these type of matches, they are done explicitly just to, practice, get repetition, learn the fundamentals, whether that just be grappling or basic like body slams, strikes, submissions, that sort of thing. There isn't a whole lot of like playing to the crowd yet or getting over your character. It's literally just getting someone to be a proper wrestler before they start adding on those extra layers. And I just think it's absolutely tremendous. I wish I could go train there.
Absolutely. And if you want to see Tempest in action, head over to his What is your Instagram, Tempest?
I don't know. There's nothing on my Instagram that they want to see.
Yeah. If you want to watch him wrestle, head over to his friend's Instagram at Brian Joystick.
I don't know who that is,
because he filmed Tempest wrestle in his first match. So check that out and share it to all the people in talent relations that so we can get Tempest signed up to everyone's favorite brand, Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't be absolutely miserable the whole time.
What's your what's your most high flying move?
Well, I didn't hit many in that match, as I wasn't going over, as the kids say. But you do different things here and there. Dives to the outside and different variations depending on the situation.
Were you forced to tap?
I was, in fact.
You
Spoiler
tapped out.
for all
You
those
tapped
people who
out.
are going to go and check it out. Yes. Jobber JJ says stiff as a horse. You damn right. That was a recurring bit that was on the Sunday show, as Suzuki and Jeff Cobb was stiff as a horse, as they would say in the chat. Speaking of the chat, we've got a few more little bits here.
We have.
Saying Movie Nation is saying, what is the story behind that chaos pose during multi-team tag matches where members would hit respective moves before clapping their hands and saying something in Japanese? Mostly just, a way to get fire, You got to have that big fire up spot as the babyface team in New Japan. And, it goes back to when like Nakamura was the leader of the group, So I don't think there's too much behind it as far as like a storyline reason why they hit a pose after their big moves or anything like that. It's just typical wrestling stuff.
Absolutely. What was I going to say? Daz Reynolds says, do you follow WWE or Impact or AW? More WWE and AW, certainly. Impact we do cover on the website, and hopefully with enough success we will be able to start covering Impact on Wrestle2 as well. So please do go and check the channel out, give us a subscribe and enable notifications for more stuff like this. Warcaster, which is Pete's Chopper Pete, his D&D channel, has joined us saying, morning gents. Do go over to Warcaster and give him a follow if you are into all things D&D. He is just past 750 subscribers, so it would obviously be awesome to get him to 1,000 subs, because that's just a nice little round number, and it would mean a lot to him, I'm sure, if you did that. What did you think of did you see any of the US presidential debate, says Seth Morgana? Yes, I did. What a cluster F.
Indeed.
I do not understand how you are just allowed to talk over the other person, because that's not a debate. That's just everyone talking at the same time. But there you go. Let's not go into that too much because it's just too aggravating. What's the news on James Storm, please? Well, as far as we know, he was set to debut for WWE. Speaking of which, by the way, Uemura has just tapped out to Tsuji in a Boston Crab. So that was the end of the first match of the night, the Young Lions match. It was a very lovely Boston Crab, or the walls of Tsuji. The very simple match, but good stuff. And the main show will be starting in the next few minutes. So Daz Reynolds, James Storm, what we understand is that he was supposed to be debuting for WWE at some point soon, but he has injured himself. So that may be delayed somewhat. We don't know how long by, but we shall have to see. Warcast says, how are the matches today? Good, I think, in general. Obviously we have to sit through the Takahashi match, but if you've got a show which has a main event of Jay White and Will Ospreay, then you can't really complain too much. And also Brian's favorite match, we've got Ishii against Shingo Takagi, which will be meaty. And Seth Morgana says
that one is the main event. The Jay White Ospreay match is the semi-main, but both should be excellent.
And Seth Morgana says, I'm not sure who won the debate, but America definitely lost. Yes, I think we can all agree on that. I don't know really how to. Go out and vote, everyone. If you don't like what you've been through in the last 4 years with the annoying President Trump, do go and vote. Make sure you vote, whether it's by post or whether it's in person. It's important to have your say in any election, and I can say that as a Brit, having just gone through the EU referendum. Yes, go out and vote. But here's time for some wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling.
And it appears that the first match of the night is... Who's this?
It should be Yujiro and Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yes.
fine.
Shardula Shankar says, you two must get merch of your own. Why don't you have one? There's only so much merch to go around. And Andy has all of the Jam That Jam merch. That's all his merch.
I invented that. So technically, although I'm still waiting on the check from Ollie. Sahil Yolakar says, Andy, why did you gift Louis that book? Well, because of a certain condition Louis has. I just felt like he needed to own it. So yeah, that's why I got it for him. And as we saw, he proudly displayed it on Quizzlemania ahead of his win. And it was a good luck charm, because I don't think he would have won without it. He had admitted his problem, and he could move on from it then. And he was much more clear-minded going into the match. And yes, Jobber JJ, Suzuki should kill Takahashi. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying earlier in the tournament, I don't think Yujiro is going to get a single win in this block. You know,
I can see him picking up a roll up against someone, but that's about it.
Is the question, though. That's where, when you actually start to think about it, it was like
Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, if it's going to be someone, that might make the most sense. But if you want to push Jeff Cobb, that's not something I would do. You know, I certainly don't think it's going to be this match against Minoru Suzuki. Daz Reynolds asked, "Do you think Sting will come back?" No, I do not personally. You know, he's got a very similar injury that people like Edge had. You know, Edge, I think, was a bit more severe, but when Sting suffered that injury, he was well north of 50. When Edge did, he was in his mid-30s. So you can kind of understand one coming back and one saying, you know what, my 30-year career is enough.
Well, yeah, he keeps saying that the only match he would come back for is one of The Undertaker, but honestly, I don't want to see that. If that happens, that will be in Saudi Arabia. Because they'll say, hey, you're really old, but here's $10 million. Can you have a 5-minute match? And they'll go, yeah, go on then. Because the thing is, we can say, oh, well, it ruins their legacy as much as we like, but their legacy already appears to be ruined. Oh, this is the same match that we had to get with Tai Chi, isn't it? Where they just walked into the start of the ring and started pushing each other.
A little bit, yeah. And I mean, you can talk about how it's unfortunate that they might like ruin their legacy and stuff, but you do one of those matches and that pays for your great grandchildren's education. It's like you put that in another bank account after having done 4 of them, and you pay off like the next generation of your entire family's education and future. So I can't fault them that much.
No, if someone offered me $10 million to have a match with The Undertaker, or anyone, probably, I think, would you agree to go one-on-one in like the Octagon against, I don't know, John Jones or someone like that for $10 million?
Well, you're basically
would you just let him knock you out?
Well, I don't think letting him is the apt phrase. I don't think I would have much of a choice in the matter, but that that is what the outcome would be. I
think I would just I think I would just like, right, I would just stick my chin out and go, right, just do it. But can you knock me out so I don't like lose any brain cells, because I haven't got too many of those left. What wouldn't you do for $10 million?
That is the question, isn't it? Oh, I can't think of much. And they're brawling at ringside now.
Watch Raw.
Oh, I try not to as much as possible.
This match has been nothing really so far. Takahashi is on top at the moment. He's kicking Suzuki around. I imagine this would be one of the oldest matches in the whole tournament.
It would have to
terms
be
of
up
combined age.
Yeah, there are those who are older than like Takahashi. So when they, I think Ishii and Suzuki might be the oldest. I think Ishii is older than Takahashi, but let me just check that out. Ishii is 44, and Yujiro is 39. So we've got at least that one.
Jobber JJ says, Andy, why not buy Louis Blue Chew? I don't think Blue Chew is a thing over here. I know Mr. Sapp from Fightful talks about it a lot. But you can, it's quite recently, you can now buy, should we say, stimulants of that nature over the counter to sort of stop the... I think a lot of people worry about that sort of thing, buying that sort of thing and being embarrassed. So that's to sort of stop the any risk of embarrassment. So that's good. The heck, my super chat did not post. Kirik, well, post it in a normal message and we'll be sure to read it out. SDR says, Tempest, since you know history of, you can direct me to a great Yujiro match because I assure you it doesn't exist. Yes, and there's a few people saying, does a great Yujiro Takahashi match actually exist?
Great might be a bit of a stretch. There are good ones. He had a really good match with Hiroshi Tanahashi back in the day for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Let me try and find like what would be considered the best Yujiro Takahashi match. Because I mean, it is difficult. It has been a very long time since he had like a really great match, but let me do my best.
Warcaster's asking if you are drinking chocolate milk.
No, I'm drinking coffee in a glass bottle because I'm a.
It's not really coffee though, is it? It's kind of like a chilled coffee drink.
That's correct.
It's like when you say like, oh, I'm having orange juice, but it's actually like a juice drink, which is about 20% orange juice and the rest is water.
Yes, I am not a big coffee drinker. This tournament is going to attempt to woo me to the dark side and join the caffeine train, but I don't know. I'm not a fan enough for it. So let me drink my not coffee, Warcaster.
My general rule in life is I don't put anything in my mouth that I don't like the smell of. So I don't drink coffee, beer, cider, wine, most alcohols. Because if I don't like the smell, I'm probably not going to like the taste. And coffee is up there with some of the worst things that I've tasted. I think I have a relatively sensitive palate with this sort of thing. I was once sitting with my dad in the car, and I bought him a latte or latte and a hot chocolate for myself. And guess who picked up the wrong cup and had a swig? It was revolting.
I'm very sorry to hear
his
that.
dashboard was spattered with my spit.
For the sake of closing that portion of the conversation, the best matches you can find with Yujiro Takahashi, two of them. One is his match with Tanahashi at Power Struggle 2012, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. The other is his match, and it's being mentioned here in the chat by Marco Talon, against Tomohiro Ishii at King of Pro Wrestling 2014 for the Never title. So if you, for some reason, just want to go watch a good Takahashi match, those are your two best bets. They're doing strike exchanges here. We've got a few people asking if we watch Stardom. As much as possible, but there's only so many hours in the day. Really, that's the biggest problem. I mean, I like what I've seen. You can only watch so much wrestling, unfortunately, especially when it doesn't start in a time zone that really works for your part of the country.
Well, I would like to say that this is this has made me get my revenge on you for every single North American show ever, because those start at a nice time for you. Whereas if I want to watch them, I have to stay up until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, which is about when you have to get up for these shows. Suzuki is currently Takahashi is currently having a go at the ref. He's grabbed the ref by the neck. The referee is sort of selling it. Takahashi has taken control once again. Not been the most exciting match, as you can possibly imagine. A sort of snap suplex by Suzuki out and into the sleeper. And he's grabbed the ref again, and the ref is really selling that shirt pinch. Hey, don't pinch my shirt. And Suzuki has hit the pile driver. That's probably it.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Suzuki wins. Takahashi is 0-4. It feels very much like he's just the guy to get everyone a win.
Absolutely.
So Suzuki goes to 3-1. So Suzuki is now 3-1. So he'll be on 6 points after this, joining Jay White and Tai Chi, but they both have a match to wrestle, so they could well go 4-0 by the end of the night.
Yes. Some people in the chat, we've got GN23 saying, I live in Etobicoke too, Tempest. Shout out to you. Shout out to Etobicoke, the best part of Toronto. That's probably not true, but still. STR says, New Japan has the best camera work in wrestling. I very much agree. Is absolutely excellent, and a very underrated part of why their wrestling is so great to me. It is a stark contrast as well from the atrocious camera work of a promotion such as WWE.
What have we got? You don't like the smell of coffee? No, I don't. I think it's revolting. I think I was persuaded away from coffee because every morning when I was a child, my dad would come in after his morning coffee to say goodbye. He was going to work, and he would come and give me a hug, and the smell of coffee would just hit me in the face just as I woken up. So I think the mix of being grumpy when waking up and the smell of coffee is a kind of joint memory in my head. So it's all my dad's fault. So say, damn you, Trevor, in the chat.
Damn you, Trevor.
Yeah, exactly. Let's have a look. Titles, there are some other good chats in here. It's almost Ryan Vaughan. It's almost 6 a.m. I'm still drinking beer, watching you set up your game, Tempest. Oh, Ryan, you're hard. Drinking beer at 6 a.m. is so cool. I wish I was as cool as you, Ryan. Keep it up, bro. No. Well, I'm glad to have you watching along, Ryan. But maybe drink some water. Let's have a look. Do people in the UK watch Mania live? I certainly do. It is probably it's along with the Rumble. It is the one show a year that I make sure I do watch absolutely live. Other shows, there are some days where I simply can't watch live because of work in the morning. But yes, I do make sure that at the very least I watch WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble live. Obviously,
sorry. Go ahead.
I know I was going to say, and any shows that are at an unusual time, just such as the Saudi Arabia shows, even if they are awful, it just makes a nice change to have a WWE show at 5 p.m. rather than 5 a.m.
Yeah. Daz Reynolds here says, Tempest, do you remember Rey Mysterio when he won a triple threat match at WrestleMania big time? I sure do. He beat Randy Orton. Pinned Randy Orton to win the World Heavyweight Championship from Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 22. Their match was severely cut in time. I believe they only got about 9 minutes. It's all in here, folks. I remember way too much stuff.
Lynn Bell says, stop tempting me from drinking coffee, please. I'm trying to go back to sleep. I don't know how Tempest can handle getting up so early for these dedicated AF. Yes, well, we pay him a lot of money.
Yeah, I was going to say getting paid for it does help.
Hey, Tempest, see, look how many viewers we've got.
Nice.
Nice, 69. Lynn Bell. Well, we'll stop tempting you from drinking that smooth coffee, Arabica beans, a lovely latte or a kind of espresso, perhaps an Americano, if you're feeling like, or even a nice frappuccino. We'll stop tempting you from drinking all of those things, those smooth, dark roast, amazingly ground coffees. Will stop tempting you. We'll stop. Drink coffee. What's the next match? Seth Morgana said it is. Sorry, we should have said it was Jeff Cobb against. I've had a
Kota Ibushi, Andy. Goodness.
I genuinely.
Perhaps you need a coffee.
So on Friday, I was diagnosed officially with ADHD. So that if you make fun of me for forgetting things quickly, then you are making fun of someone with a learning disability. So stop it. There. Now, how do you feel?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Support WrestleTalk. Support each other.
Exactly.
The whole deal. This match should be excellent. I will say that.
Christian Jazzcat says, here's a fiver to say thanks for covering this. I'm on the caffeine as well. Bugger all sleep last night. Kazanina Ray, Suzuki-gun, Ichiban. Absolutely. Well, as you can see, I'm also on the caffeine. I've got this giant bottle of Pepsi Max. All of my drinking glasses are in the dishwasher, which is why I'm having to resort to the bottle. And
you're just adulting perfectly.
AN to the DY says, never forget, Andy was the inaugural Quizlemania champion. Yes, I was. Speaking of Quizlemania, the next show will not be next week as Quizmaster Adam is away. So it won't be on the 7th of October. It will be on the 14th of October. So yeah, do come along and watch that. I will be on that. I believe. I won't give any more spoilers away because we'll have to update the lineup in the future. But I believe the plan is to have me return on that show for the first time in a few months, actually. But let's have a look at this match. It is, as we say, going to be probably one of the matches of the night if given a good amount of time. Jeff Cobb hasn't had the best record so far. He is 1-2. I believe Ibushi is 2-1. Yes, so this is a big match. So one of them, either one of them will, either they'll both be 2-2 at the end of the night, or they'll be 3-1 and 1-3 respectively. So this is a huge match for Jeff Cobb, and equally big for Ibushi.
Yes, and we've got Ibushi looking quite cross early in this match, and Jeff Cobb being a big hard boy and not selling much for his strikes.
I may have just spilled Pepsi Max on the floor.
Oh my goodness! What are we gonna do with you? What are we gonna do with you? I must say, I really do like the styles clash of something like this match. Well, there you go. That's interesting. Jeff Cobb just did AJ Styles' signature pose.
Speaking of style clash,
yeah, that's very appropriate. It seems, but yeah, I mean Jeff Cobb seems to do well with people who wrestle this kind of style, whether it be someone like Will Ospreay or Kota Ibushi or something like that. So I'm enjoying this match thus far for sure.
Yes. We need you on Quizlemania to next time to dethrone Nugget. I mean, in a straight trivia match, Nugget would have me, I'm afraid. I was surprised with his level of trivia the other day. But in a match if there were more nips involved, then I might have him. Seth Morgana says, it's obvious you have ADHD. I have a brother just like you. Well, to be honest, I've been told that for my entire life, so that's not surprising to me. Chris Jaska says, I had my ADHD diva test today. Should have an official diagnosis soon of solidarity, bro. Yes, good. good for you, Christopher Jazzcat. It's hopefully this will enable me to work through it better, because it's been a struggle, especially during lockdown. So yes, hair grew back nicely. Yes, it did. Thank you, AN to the DY. Lynn Bell says, "Damn you, Andy! I'm officially out of bed making a coffee now." I don't know why. I didn't support that. I in fact told you not to drink coffee. I didn't throw up, Seth Morgana. I just, when I put the bottle down, because it hasn't got very much left in it, it just swayed and toppled. But I've cleared it up, because I'm an adult and I clear things up when I make mistakes. But let's focus on the match for a bit, so I can shut up.
Yes, they fought now to the ringside area, with Ibushi doing a big dive from there, and he's trying to fire himself and the crowd up. We've had a lot of good action thus far, but as has kind of been the case, they haven't really gotten out of that, first or second gear. Perhaps they will, as Ibushi seems to be setting up for a springboard. And Jeff Cobb has dodged his move, and Ibushi kind of hit a double stomp to the back. He really just kind of jumped over him.
Takes a long time for Ibushi to start sweating, doesn't it? I mean, his body is still completely matte.
He's incredible. He is just a specimen. Like when he was wrestling his Tokyo Dome main event match with Okada last year, and they were like 25 minutes into the match, and Okada like slapped him or something, and that switch flipped so that he was about to start, going to that dark side of Ibushi's, personality, and Ibushi just like wasn't even breathing hard. It's like, and you've been wrestling a main event match in the Tokyo Dome for 25 minutes, and he's just sitting there, just nothing. This is just a Saturday for him.
That's because the style isn't as intense as a WWE, so it's really easy to just take it easy.
Yeah, of course. Nothing is as difficult as the WWE style, of course. Speaking of which, Daz Reynolds has asked when the next WWE pay-per-view and when the draft is. The draft is next Friday and the following Monday, October 9th and 12th. And the next WWE pay-per-view is sometime near the end of October. I believe like the 24th or something like that. And it would be Hell in a Cell, so there you go. WWE. WWE. And Jeff Cobb has got Ibushi in the corner, lifts him up, and catches him into a nice side suplex. He's a big, strong boy, that Jeff Cobb. And Flame Inc. says, I turned on the stream and my cat jumped onto my lap. So you have a fan in his cat. I like cats. I like having fans. So that works out for me.
My girlfriend has said that if we move in together, then we have to immediately buy 2 cats. So I've been trying to like cats more. I mean, I've always been more of a dog person, but ever since my friend got a dog and she's kind of explained to me what goes into looking after a dog, I'm like, well, that sounds like a pain in the bum. Walking it every morning, feeding it, basically like it's basically like having a child. Because especially her dog will not leave her alone ever.
Oh. So Jeff Cobb just absorbed a big clothesline from Ibushi, didn't sell at all, and then turned right into a giant clothesline of his own. AN to the DY says, respectively, are you guys in All Authority? I am I'm partisan over here. I have not chosen a side in this great WrestleTalk war of 2020. If anyone knows I'm here, I'm just here to watch New Japan and check facts. And if anyone wants to slide a little bit more money my way, perhaps they can enlist my services.
If you also want to give me money for no reason, you can do that too. Oh, Jeff Cobb staying up.
Ooh. Oh my!
What's going on? Whoa! Ow! What the hell was that?
Jesus Christ!
He just kind of helicoptered Ibushi off his shoulders.
Well, he hit a couple of gut wrench suplexes and went for a gut wrench power bomb, and Ibushi kind of tried to give him a Hurricane Rana, only for Cobb to lift him back up and kind of hit like Wardlow's F10. You know, the helicopter spinning F5 type move.
Wardlow, everyone's favorite wrestler.
Yes, of course.
Oh, he's going for it again, but Ibushi fights out of it. Oh, and hits a sort of roundhouse kick to the side of Cobb's head. Oh, but Cobb powers up, and he doesn't do anything. Oh, V-trigger. He's setting up for the knee.
Ibushi has hit V-trigger
1, 2, or 3. Ibushi wins
with the Kamigoye. So Ibushi now is 3-1.
And Cobb is 1-3. So either Cobb is not going to get anywhere near progressing, or this could be a big comeback story for him.
Somehow, I think it is going to be the former. I don't see him picking up a ton more wins in this tournament, but who knows? I thought he might have beaten someone like Minoru Suzuki and gotten a never open weight title match in the future at some point, but that didn't happen. So I don't know how many other wins he's really going to get in this tournament, unfortunately. And Jobber JJ says that match was stiff as a horse. Yes,
it was stiff as a horse. They're now holding each other's hand.
Well, it's good to be respectful.
Cobb looks in pain.
As you should. I'm sure getting kneed in the face like that would not tickle.
No.
And STR says, who do you think the wild card entrant in the NXT UK Heritage Cup is? I have no idea. I could not even begin to tell you.
It's going to be... I mean, who's in it? NXT UK Heritage Cup. Obviously we care a lot about NXT UK. But let's have a look. Who's in it? Oh, it doesn't say. 7 of the 8 competitors, right. Morgan Webster, Noam Dar, Alexander Wolf, A-Kid, Dave Mastiff, Trent Seven, Joseph Connors. Probably Pete Dunne or Tyler Bate. I'm trying to think. Is there any British wrestlers who haven't been? Has anyone been signed?
I don't know if they've been signed or anything, but
Walter.
Just as a complete left field guess, I'll say A-Kid.
No, not bad guess.
Because I like A-Kid.
German Dan would be very happy about
that. I bet he would.
I'm rooting for Zack Sabre Jr. to win the whole thing, says Chris Cat, though I know it's a long shot.
I would agree with that.
Davey Boy Smith Jr. That's not a bad guess either.
Don't think he's in Britain though. He might be, but as a Canadian man who works in the United States, I don't think he spent his pandemic in Britain. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I'd rather spend it in Britain than the United States at the moment. My girlfriend is she's doing a PhD. And it was always a bit of a goal for her to eventually work in the States. But the last 3.5 years have completely persuaded her that that would be a terrible idea. So she will not be doing that, thankfully, because I don't want to either. Not that I don't want to come to the United States. I just don't want to live there right now.
Yes, I completely understand and agree. I'm very glad to be living in Canada as opposed to the neighbors to the south. Lynn Bell here says it's my first G1, and I'm not even technically watching it, just watching WrestleTalk live streaming. Huge fan of AEW. How is the G1 going so far? On the whole, very good. It's very nice to see some good, proper wrestling as they are currently doing their sanitation, procedures. It's been very good. Many of the best matches I've seen since the beginning of the pandemic have come from this tournament. And it's a very condensed way of seeing. You might see a good match here or there, maybe a good one on a pay-per-view or an NXT takeover otherwise, but these matches are just so good.
They are. They are currently washing the ring, by the way, which is why we're not commenting on matches. So they're having their kind of 10-minute break. Sahil Yelakart says, Andy, do you follow cricket? Yes, I do. I've been watching the IPL a lot. So feel free to ask more cricket questions. And yes, Valab, we can bully Tempest with them. Tempest, have you been to Japan to watch New Japan?
I haven't. Of course.
So you're not even a real fan.
I know, right?
That's
it's crazy.
Say, I'm a massive Harry Potter fan. They go, oh, but I haven't actually read the books. It's like, well, you're not then, are you?
Yeah. Well, I was planning on doing it this year or next year, but it's kind of impossible to do that right now, unfortunately. You know, my tag team partner, shout out to Max Yeager on Twitter, give him a follow. He and I were planning on, going for either a G1 stint or going for Wrestle Kingdom in January, and not doing that now.
What? No, I guess fair enough. No, some of my friends were supposed to be going to WrestleMania this year. That didn't happen for obvious reasons. They even bought all their tickets and everything, so that was a bit of a shame. Let's have a look. Did we get your joke, Flaming? We didn't. I've scrolled back, and you say ha ha ha, high blind, and I can't see anything yet. Oh wait, do you get ready for babies? Does get you ready for babies, cats gets you ready for teenagers. Oh, dogs get you ready for babies, cats get you ready for teenagers. Yes, no, absolutely, cats. I did like that joke. I feel like I'm just saying I like it, but I did appreciate it. I just read it wrong a few times, so the impact was lessened. Chris Francesco says my shoulder hurts. Well, that's bad. Come here and Tempest will give you a massage.
I've been told I give very good ones.
I've heard that too. I've heard magical fingers Tempest, they call him.
Yes, of course.
So what? Speaking of fingers, what are the final matches to come?
Still to come, of course, we've got the main event of Shingo Takagi and Tomohiro Ishii, which should just be absolutely incredible. The semi-main of Jay White and Will Ospreay, likewise, should be very good. And then Taichi and Kazuchika Okada. And like I said earlier, Okada did have one of Taichi's best matches earlier this year. So who knows? That was also before he started doing his Cobra Clutch move. I also saw someone in the chat earlier try and say that it's not a Cobra Clutch, it's an Anaconda Vice, which is incorrect. That's simply not accurate. But Okada, if you're ever going to watch any of these, please stop doing the Cobra Clutch. It's not good. I don't enjoy it.
Taichi is actually one of only two people in the A block who are still 3-0. So
a 4-0 Taichi would be a shock and very scary to think of where this tournament could end up. Christopher Jazzcat here says, last year I went to Melbourne and Sydney for New Japan Pro Wrestling with a group of people. I'm sure you must have had a very good time. That was probably when Ospreay faced Robbie Eagles in their very excellent match. And Marco Talent says, I was supposed to watch Dontaku this year back in May. I have family that lives near Fukuoka, got tickets and everything. That didn't push through, obviously. I'm very sorry to hear that. It would have been fun.
I noticed how you skipped over the cricket questions. Which IPL team are you rooting for, says Sahil. I'm a Chennai Super Kings fan. I I've been supporting them for a few years now. Obviously, when they left the league, I started rooting for the Gujarat Lions, but now that they're back, yes, the Championship Kings not having a particularly good start to this year's tournament, but I'm sure they'll turn it around. Chris Jasko says, if I ever go to Canada, I'm holding you to that massage. I've got bursitis, and I've been playing guitar, which aggravates it. Doing it for charity, though. Oh, no, not bursitis. What's bursitis? Bursitis.
While you're looking that up.
Painful condition that affects the small fluid-filled sacs. Oh, no, your sacs are filled.
You can't have that. That's just no good. You don't want to have your sacs.
You don't want a filled sack.
Flame Inc. says, when will we see you as a contestant on Quizlemania, Tempest? I think you would beat everyone, even SRS. Well, if you want to go and see me on Quizlemania as a contestant, you can check out Quizlemania 11, where I did compete as a last-minute replacement for Shaw Samuels. It may shock you to learn I did not win. So,
but that was because there were so few actual trivia rounds. If there had been more trivia rounds, Tempest would have wiped the floor with people. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
I've let them know that. To be fair, I believe it was maybe Quizlemania 18. I let them all know that if I ever get back on that show and there is an abundance of trivia, I would wipe the floor with all of them. Luke, SRS, doesn't matter. Set them up, I'll knock them down.
Absolutely. Sajatro says, have you ever been to India, Andy? I haven't. I would love to go to India. My girlfriend is from that part of the world. So yes, that is a place I would love to visit. It is absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, right now, it's probably not the safest place to be. Just because of the global pandemic, and I can't really travel anywhere anyway. But yes, in the future, I would love to go. My parents have been many times, and they love it. So yes, and if you pay for my tickets, I'll definitely go. I've been to Canada, and it was awesome. Niagara Falls was spectacular, says Jobber JJ. I'm sure it is, although I'm sure Tempest will say that there are plenty of other places in Canada you should go instead of Niagara Falls, because I guess that is a bit of a tourist destination. My parents recently went to Banff.
Oh, Banff is very lovely. I've got a friend who lives out there now. Went out there for a summer job and never left, basically.
I can see why, having looked at pictures. Oh, speaking of lovely things, Tai Chi is coming out and doing his fake singing, where he doesn't even try and move his mouth.
Jobber JJ says, is Okada going heel with the Cobra Clutch? He's going heel to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I sincerely doubt that's the plan overall.
Even if it does hurt in real life, it just doesn't look like it hurts.
And it's just not dynamic. It doesn't.
A massive part of wrestling is making moves look like they hurt, even if they don't. And this one just doesn't look good at all. Like there are submission moves which do look like let's say the Asuka lock and things like that, and the Walls of Jericho, which are more dynamic, as you say. They look like they hurt. This just looks like you're hugging someone's head.
Yes, it's not good. I'm not a fan of it at all. I wish he would drop it, and I'm very sad that he hasn't done it already.
And the fact that Takahashi was able to break out of it last week by biting his hand tells you all you need to know, really.
Yeah. Flame Inc. says, isn't Quizlemania 11 the blocked one? No, I believe that's Quizlemania 10. Ashrith says, what do you think Orange Cassidy should do going forward? I think he should stop wrestling so bloody often.
Agreed. Oh, you agree with Louis Dangle. That's what he said.
Yeah, I know. I can't say that publicly because he complains just far too much about all things AEW. But I do agree. I think Orange Cassidy has been wrestling far too often. I mean, his style and everything doesn't really work well when it comes to no fans shows or limited fan shows. So having him continuously wrestle over and over again, I don't think is doing anyone any favors. Jobber JJ says, I went because I have family in Canada. Went to a Blue Jays game. Well, if you went in the last 3 years, then I'm very sorry to hear that. But if you went back in 2015, 2016, I think you probably had a very good time.
Andy, no, John Elite 45 for life says, Andy, did you watch Clash of Champions? I have watched the main event. It was I was actually on holiday, so I didn't watch the show live. Andy, close your blinds. You are blinding us. Well, if I'm nothing else, I'm a man of the people. I will go and close my blinds.
Continuing on from stuff like that, it is also worth mentioning that the ladder match at Clash of Champions was absolutely excellent. So Andy, you need to go and watch the ladder match from Clash of Champions as well.
Oh, I will. That
was very good stuff. STR says Cobra Clutch Okada or Balloon Okada. Balloon Okada, easily. I don't care that people didn't like Balloon Okada. He still used the Rainmaker and had good matches. That's really all I can ask for.
Okada's still selling the back, where he's been strapped up again.
Yes, Taichi is throwing him around ringside into barricades and such, as seems to be pretty typical for these heel matches. Poor Okada and his poor back. I had one here from Jobber JJ. Said he we've already seen that. I believe he said he went during 2004, which probably means that you did not see a very good baseball game. Someone asked what my favorite football team. His is Juventus or Manchester City. My favorite football team is the Green Bay Packers.
Did you just say Juventus?
Yes, like Juventud Guerrera.
It's Juventus.
No, I like the way I say it. Juventud Guerrera.
Juventus.
Yes, Seth Morgana says congrats on Green Bay being 3-0. Thank you. We're going all the way this year. And Flaming says he's a Saints fan. Hell of a game. Yes, it was. I was very concerned during the closing minutes, but we got there. And Logan Heath says, Tempest, what would be your Mount Rushmore of New Japan? That is a very difficult question because there are a lot of very important figures in the history of this company. If I had to pick 4 people, I'd probably go with Inoki 1. Oh, goodness, this is hard. Inoki's got to be on there for obvious reasons. I'll go with Tanahashi. Has to be on there. I'll go with Keiji Muto. And I'll go with there's a lot of people you can put in that fourth spot. But for the heck of it, I'll say Jushin Thunder Liger. Valab asks if the card got moved around. I don't think so. This appeared to be the order of things that seem to be advertised, at least on the New Japan site. And again, not a whole lot has happened here. Taichi is still taking it to Okada, ramming his back into the apron now. But what can you do? Hopefully it gets more interesting. Antonio Correa says, I'm referring to football, not fake ball. Well, you need to specify that. And Jobber JJ says they got crushed by the New York Yankees. Well, hey, if that's the kind of baseball game that you watch, that could have happened 2 weeks ago, and I wouldn't have said anything different. There's a lot of people getting on me about my pronunciation of Juventus. But again, I don't even go here, so cut me some slack. I also don't watch footy at all. Jobber JJ says I'm a Falcons guy. Sad times, but I do watch Blue Jay games when I get the time. Very good. Flame Inc. says as a Packers fan, who's my Mount Rushmore of Packers players. I won't bore people with a ton of that, but it's very easy to say like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Bart Starr, and then pick a fourth one.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said those three too.
Oh yeah, I bet.
In terms of American sports, I'm a Spurs fan in basketball, just because when I turned on NBA for the first time, I watched them beat the Bulls. I follow the Boston Red Sox because we've got some friends in Boston, and I went to Fenway Park to see a match. In terms of American football, Baltimore Ravens, because they were the team I used to play with on Madden 10. Ice hockey, I don't really have a team in ice hockey. I guess I was in like the Maple Leafs just because of you, really, Tempest. It's not really on. It's very difficult to watch it over here. I do really like ice hockey, but it's incredibly difficult to watch in the UK because it's just not on TV.
Yeah. Okada's starting to fire up a little bit. He hits a back elbow to really kind of take control for the first time in this match. He's really selling that back. He's starting to fire up. He hits his big DDT. He's rolling, but again, hasn't gotten too much going so far. Valab says he'd be hard-pressed to put anyone over Keiji Muto, which, I mean, yeah, it's tough. He's, one of their top stars. Again, there's a ton of people that you could put on a New Japan Mount Rushmore, whether it be, Fujinami or Okada for that matter. There's just so many great stars over all of, the 40 plus years, almost 50 years now that they've been running. Now Christopher Jazzcat's getting on me for my pronunciation of Melbourne. Well, I don't have the accent that other people have.
I think it's Melbourne rather
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne. Well, again.
All right, Christopher Jazzcat, let's go to Melbourne.
I come from a part of the world where we pronounce
a plot. I lived in Australia for a while.
Australia.
I lived in Sydney and in Canberra when I was about 3. My dad had a job at the House of Parliament briefly. So that was I don't really remember it, but I would love to go back one day for a holiday or an extended period of time, because it is an absolutely wonderful country full of incredibly friendly people. Unlike Canada.
Oh, that's not very nice. Did you ever see a quokka when you went to Australia?
I didn't, although I did see a wombat, koalas, wallabies, kangaroos, and some Americans.
No, not interested in any of that. Only quokkas.
Are quokkas in America, Australia? I didn't know.
Yeah, they're on a little island off of Australia. I don't know exactly where. Obviously, I'm not super familiar with the geography of the country.
Where do they live?
They are just about the most precious, adorable.
Oh yeah, no, they are. Rock's Nest Island, just off Perth, and Bald Island near Albany.
They are just about the only animals I would ever go to another country to see. They're back in the ring now, Taichi and Okada, after wrestling more on the floor, and Taichi's regained control of the match. As you might expect, this match has been quite slow. We've got some pretty decent questions coming through in the chat. Ashworth wants to know, Andy, what's your favorite Indian food?
Well, I guess I don't want to be like. I mean, curry, I guess. But if I had to name, I do love a butter chicken. I know it's not the spiciest thing in the world, but butter chicken with some pilau rice, a couple of naans, some Bombay aloo. Yeah, just you can't really beat it. I make my own butter chicken actually, and it's very wonderful. Is Okada going to tap? Probably not. No, he's reached the bottom rope. It's been pretty slow so far, but as this is kind of Okada's way of doing things, so I'm expecting this to heat up any moment now.
Rune Rage said, if you could make a dream team of New Japan Pro Wrestling stars, who would you put together? That's tough. I mean, like, New Japan doesn't really focus on tag teams too much. You know, if you'd asked me earlier this year, I probably would have said something like Tanahashi and Kota Ibushi, you know, because those two together are just absolutely excellent. Aside from that, you know, maybe like put Ospreay with Okada and have them be a tag team or something like that. I'm sure it'd be excellent. If you're going strictly like, don't worry about like factions or anything like that, do something like Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. Brits together.
Tempest, you've been asked by someone to name 3 Manchester City players. I was just wondering, is there any way that you can possibly do that without any of my help?
Oh man, I mean, this is not my wheelhouse, but let me see. You've got Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, good player.
That's one. Ederson is
another. Of course, the goalkeeper, of course. And what's that one guy's name? Sergio Aguero. Yes, of course, the striker, their all-time leading goal scorer. That's very, very impressive knowledge there for someone who doesn't really watch soccer. Sahil says, Andy, did you watch the thrilling RCB Mumbai Indians match? Yes, I did. It was pretty crazy. I genuinely can't believe they actually managed to tie scores in that one. Are you a fan of Roman's new heel character? Yes, absolutely. He is the best thing in WWE right now, and possibly for the last 5 years. It is quite astonishing how well they've been booking him.
As you might be able to judge by my hat change here, I absolutely, positively adore this Roman Reigns character. This is the best thing I've ever seen him do. Full stop. I cannot get enough. I absolutely love it. And it just baffles me that we didn't get here sooner.
Okada dropped on his head quite nastily.
Angle back suplex.
I don't think I've got a hat within reaching distance.
Do you have a pink wig that you might?
Oh, no, I have got a hat.
Look at you go. It's pink, and if it's not pink, the lighting makes it look pink.
It is pink. I basically, I used to play golf a lot with my friend, and he was very easily embarrassed. So what I thought I would do was get an entirely pink golf outfit. So I got a bright hot pink shirt, hot pink trousers, hot pink hat, hot pink glove. And I turned up to one session and he was absolutely mortified because he was like, what if people come up to us and ask what you're doing? And I was like, well, that's not my problem. I'm an adult. I can wear what I like.
Oh, Lord. Here's the Cobra Clutch. Okada has hit the tombstone and has now put Taichi in the Cobra
Clutch.
But
it's really effective because he goes when he's doing it, and therefore it's more powerful.
It's just such a bad submission hold. Oh, goodness. John Elite says, would you prefer Bayley as a heel with the hugger gimmick or as a face with the role model gimmick?
That's a hugger gimmick with the heel. I don't know how that would work unless she licks people's faces when she hugs them.
As much as I do enjoy her current work as a heel, I would say as a babyface, because she was just one of the best baby faces ever in NXT. And it's really a testament to how WWE doesn't know how to book baby faces.
Tai Chi has just kicked Okada in the penis.
Oh, no.
And
the Gato clutch.
Referee really should have counted 3 there because Okada did not get his shoulders up. But clearly that was not supposed to be the finish of the match, so he did not count 3.
I do enjoy that people like Tai Chi still try and hit the Gato clutch roll up on Okada, despite Gato no longer being his manager.
What happened to the pink wig, says Valab. I don't actually know. It is somewhere. Give me 2 seconds. I might be able to find it. I'm just entertaining the fans now.
I mean, that's what you're here for. Jobber JJ says hugging while in COVID. That's true. That is a heel move. And Christopher Jazzcat says WWE missed the boat with Bayley. She could have been the biggest babyface ever. Absolutely. I mean, there wasn't a more surefire top star in the women's division when she came up from NXT than Bayley. Goodness, you're making a lot of noise. And they ruined it as they happen to do with many of their NXT call-ups, unfortunately. Taichi still has control of this match and a wrist control as well, as he's now going for a back suplex. And Okada
God.
spinning, or no, he goes for the spinning rain. Oh my goodness, Taichi's hit the Rainmaker. At least, oh goodness, that is very bright.
I forgot how uncomfortable this is.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to look at, too. It's very saturated.
It is. I'm going to take it off.
It does still exist.
At least I still got it.
At least we saw one kind of Rainmaker in this tournament so far. It did have to come from Taichi, but you got to take what you can get. Absolutely.
I just hope Taichi starts using the Cobra Clutch. Really get that move over.
I mean, at least if Taichi was doing it, it would be actual heel heat as opposed to whatever Okada is doing.
Oh, he's doing it again. He's got it locked in now. Taichi is struggling. He's got the face. Oh, he's down to one knee. He's fading. He's fading. He's reaching for the rope.
You know, I don't know that the referee is going to get grabbed during something like this, but if they took literally a half step back, maybe they wouldn't get abused so much in these matches with Taichi and Yujiro and people like that.
Oh, a backbreaker. Oh, he's done the Cobra into a backbreaker, and I think this is going to be it. I think Taichi is fading.
That was almost like Randy Orton's backbreaker.
It was. I mean, clearly Okada's a big fan. One hand drop. Oh, and he's out. He's out. Okada has beaten Taichi. Taichi is no longer undefeated, meaning Jay White is now the only undefeated person in A block. But Okada is now 2-2. Yes. Well, it feels. I don't know. It's just not a good finisher.
It's not. I mean, we've got Jobber JJ again says, if Okada had a different submission, would that make you feel better, Tempest? It would, because submission wrestling is awesome. It's just this move in particular sucks. It's not good. It's not over. It doesn't look like it hurts. And it's just not a dynamic finisher. It doesn't flow in and out of moves. It's not exciting, you know? You've got, like, you know, Tanahashi uses the Texas Cloverleaf, and it's excellent. You know, you've got the Walls of Jericho, you know, when Jericho wrestles in New Japan, and it's very good. But this move just sucks, and I'm tired of it.
Who would you put on a Mount Rushmore of only UK plus Republic of Ireland wrestlers, says SDR? Paul Burchill, Layla, who else is there? I don't know. Hornswoggle. Because he's clearly Irish.
Of course.
And Dave Mastiff.
Of course.
I think that's probably what you would have said as well.
Oh yeah, of course. You obviously have a much more educated opinion of only UK based people, given that you live there. What do I know about pro wrestling? Jobber JJ says, why do you think Okada is doing the Cobra Clutch? I think he thinks that he needs something different. And I disagree, because when you're the best wrestler of all time and things are going very well for you, maybe you don't need to fix what isn't broken.
Antonio's asked you to now name, without my help, 3 Juventus players, or sorry, Juventus players.
Juventus.
So if you can do that.
Well, Juventud Guerrera, of course. He must be like the mascot of the brand, or of the team. Sorry, brand. I'm talking about it like it's a wrestler. Well, Ronaldo plays there. I can get that. I know who he is. I know who Cristiano Ronaldo is. I did study sports. Dybala is another one. I hope I'm saying that one right. And Douglas Costa.
Yes, of course. Oh, yeah. You are so knowledgeable.
Well, I studied sports. You got to have a wealth of knowledge of every subject, whether that be a wee bit of footy or pronunciations in this case, of course.
Tempest and Andy, if Shayna Baszler is the Queen of Spades and Talia is the Queen of Hearts, who are the Queen of Diamonds and Clubs? Diamonds, I guess, like Carmella, because she's money.
Mm-hmm.
And clubs, who hits people with sticks?
I was gonna say put a woman with the Bludgeon Brothers, and you could have a Queen of Clubs.
Yeah, maybe like Sarah Logan, because she was with
she's a Viking.
Yeah, she was with them. But I mean, I guess if they've still got to be with. I mean, there was that period of time where Alexa Bliss couldn't stop hitting people with a kendo stick, but I'm not sure I could call her the Queen of Clubs.
Yeah, that's more of a stick than a club. A club
or
is a bit bigger.
Could who likes going like to nightclubs?
Ooh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
Oh, Naomi, she likes to dance.
Yeah,
Naomi's Queen of Clubs.
Look at you thinking.
Can you feel the glow? Can you feel it?
I can't personally.
Oh no.
Christopher Jazzcat says, I stopped watching main roster WWE in 2014 and stopped watching NXT when Nakamura looked like a shell of his former self. It's depressing to see people you used to love wrestle while dead inside. Can't disagree with you there. I kind of stopped paying attention to WWE right around the same time. 2014 was when I more or less gave up on the product full time anyway. And NXT kind of came and went. I was really a big fan of theirs in like 2015 with Finn Balor and people like that. Before, once they did the reintroduction of the brand split and just absolutely decimated the NXT roster, I didn't think it had the same sort of glow for a little while. Of course, then it picked back up again when you had guys like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and Adam Cole and what have you. And then now I don't enjoy the product very much these days. Not going to say at all, but still, they are not my favorite brand at the moment.
At the moment.
Yes, there happen to be other shows out there that I do enjoy. I do enjoy more. Marco Talon says, I think this is in regards to the Cobra Clutch. Says, I don't think it's supposed to hurt. Doesn't make it better, but I don't think that's a good criticism. It's a wrestling move, Marco. All wrestling moves are supposed to hurt. If it doesn't look like it hurts, how am I supposed to believe you're going to pass out or submit to it? STR. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, of all the submission moves in wrestling or cage fighting, what's the one you would least like to take?
Well, as someone who has taken a few of them, honestly, like a shoot Walls of Jericho a shoot Boston Crab is just no fun at all. Like everything else, it's something different when you're just getting folded in half and you just feel like your back just bending the wrong way. Like if it's your arm or your leg or something like that, like, you know, it's a different kind of pain than when you just feel your entire body just kind of being bent the wrong way. So anything that does that, like a Walls of Jericho or a sharpshooter or a Texas Cloverleaf or something like that.
I would personally, for me, a Kimura lock is about as painful as it's got. Someone put me in one once, and I thought, do you know what? I'd rather lose my arm.
Yeah.
It really, really hurts.
Will Ospreay and Jay White are in the ring now, and they're just doing their little starting moves. Jay White is once again kind of stalling for time, but things have gotten underway in the semi-main event.
We've been asked what our favorite rock band of all time is.
The Foo Fighters.
I would have to say
my Foo Fighter tattoo. You can kind of see it.
I would have to say probably the rockers. I don't really listen to rock music unless you count like Dire Straits and Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, I think, would count.
Yeah,
you can go with that answer.
Hooray!
STR asks, the 4 horsewomen retired today. Who had the biggest impact?
The 4 horsewomen of WWE.
Yeah, I mean, probably Charlotte, but if you made the argument for Becky Lynch, I don't think I would argue with you.
No, I would probably have to say Charlotte as well, just because she kind of altered. I know she's Ric Flair's daughter, but she is very good, and she sort of helped really alter the image of what a women's wrestler was in WWE. I think more than the others.
Yes, the correct answer is Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey has the biggest impact.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because without her, they would never have main evented WrestleMania or had their own pay-per-view.
Certainly wouldn't have gotten there yet.
As I mentioned in my What Went Wrong with the Women's Evolution piece on WrestleTalk.com. So go and check that out. Please read it.
Jay White seemingly invites Will Ospreay to hit him, but at the last moment, sucker.
Whoa, my God. What a backdrop.
Goodness
Ospreay in charge. Looks like he's going to... Oh, no. He does that thing with the thing.
He does the superhero pose. Good stuff.
This is likely to be the most high-flying, quickest match of the night, you would argue.
I mean, of the ones on the show, yes. Anything with Will Ospreay is likely going to take that distinction, as I believe it's the next A Block show is the rematch between Ospreay and Ibushi, and that will probably be the most high-flying match of the entire tournament, so I'm looking forward to that one. We've got a few more. I think a few of these have been asked a couple of times now. But Jobber JJ says, Wrestle Talk got me back into Impact and making me love New Japan more. Well, I hope that we can do that even more so with our coverage here. And Christopher Jazzcat says, I was a big fan of Ring of Honor in the mid-2010s and resent NXT for rating the roster. That's an excellent point. Marco, again, with the Cobra Clutch deal, says, like, it's a choke. It's supposed to cut off circulation, not put pressure on a point. Like, that's fair enough, but even still, it doesn't look like it would choke you out necessarily, you know?
And also, you've got your hands free to do anything you want with them. You can punch him, you can rake his eyes, and they just kind of go, oh, no, how am I supposed to get out of this?
Yeah. And he compares it to, he says, I don't think a sleeper looks like it hurts, but I know how it's supposed to work. It's like I understand the comparison, but at least when it's like a sleeper hold, like the guy who's applying the hold is behind you, or has you in what at least looks like a choke.
Yeah, and often they'll also trap your arms. Like, I mean, the Ascalon traps the arms. The Samoa Joe's traps your arms. Like, there are variations, whereas this is just kind of, I've got your head.
Yeah. Let us see here real quick. John Elite asks, do I watch AEW? I sure do, and I love it quite a bit, most weeks anyway. Wasn't a huge fan of last week's episode, which got some people riled up in the comments of the recap video. Go watch the WrestleTalk recap right here on Wrestle2, but you're allowed to have a different opinion. I'm allowed to not enjoy 1 week of AEW. As Jay White has Will Ospreay in a half crab. Flame Inc. says, Tempest, tell us, Minoru Suzuki versus Brock Lesnar, street fight, 60-minute time limit, who wins? I tell you, it would not need 60 minutes. I would probably... that's tough. Brock Lesnar is bigger and younger, so I will go with Brock Lesnar. Antonio Chris says, I think he's having a conversation with someone else. Says, thanks, Tempest, for the logos. Not sure what that's in a reference to, but no problem.
I also thank you for the logos.
Yeah, of course. And Marco has confirmed that Ibushi versus Ospreay is on Monday. And Jobber JJ says, more coverage makes me a bigger fan and great wrestling. Well, we've got you covered with the more coverage, and these guys have got you covered with the great wrestling. Jobber JJ asks, have we ever seen a Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki match? I feel like we have.
I haven't, but within the world may have.
Yes. I mean, it's difficult type of thing to search on my phone. I'm not sure. Not sure about that one, honestly. And I don't particularly want to look through all of Samoa Joe's 1,000 plus matches on record. I know Joe has had very big matches with people like Kenta Kobashi, Misawa, guys like that, and they've been excellent, especially the Kobashi match. I mean, that's up there with my favorite matches of all time from their Ring of Honor clash in 2005. Just absolutely excellent.
White has been really targeting that left knee of Ospreay, but so what Ospreay does to sell that is a handstand spring off the ropes into a spinning kick. And now he's going, oh, my knee.
Yes, as someone who flies in the ring, you do tend to need your legs.
Yes, but it doesn't seem to have stopped him. He's going, ow, 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 my knee. Okay, here's a massive move which requires my knees a lot. And then, ooh, ow, my knee. Like, that's when that's when it's difficult to sort of be a high flyer, because so much of your offense is, well, high flying. And therefore, something targeting your knee, it can look a bit silly if you sell the knee for ages and then suddenly go, actually, do you know what? I'll do this move. And now he's just gone back to selling it again, as if, and then he's going to go, yeah, and then he does like basically a phenomenal forearm. So it probably not hurting that much.
Yeah, the Pip Pip Cheerio, as it's known in Will Ospreay's world.
Mm.
And now it appears he's setting up for the Sasuke special. Oh, and Gato moves him out of the way. Boo. Screw you, Gato. Ashrith asks if I have any guide to start watching Stardom. Just do it. That's the best. Pick someone that you like and watch their matches. And hopefully in doing so, you can connect that and start watching other people, just stuff like that. Pick someone that you like, watch their matches, and then by association, watch the people that they end up wrestling, and so on and so forth.
We've been asked now to name 3 players from Benfica.
Oh, goodness gracious. I am a wrestling fan, not a footy fan. You know,
Yes.
so you're really working me here.
This will be the last 3 players he names, so everyone stop asking.
Ask me to name wrestlers from various companies. I might have a better chance. Goodness. I can't remember how they pronounce their names. It's Everton. Oh, his last name. I don't think it's like Suarez because that's not how that's spelled. But
I think it is. I think it is Suarez.
Suarez?
Yeah.
Usually it's spelled with a U as opposed to an O.
Yeah, I know. Oh, there we go. Now he's selling it properly. He tries to do a move, and then he lands on his knee and then goes, ow. That's how you should be selling it.
Proper selling as he immediately fights back and kicks Jay White right in the noggin. Julian Weigel.
Yeah.
Goodness. This is not how I spend my Saturdays watching football. And then Carlos starts with a V. Oh goodness. It's like Vincius or Vincius or something like that.
Yeah. Good. Well named.
Close enough if I haven't got.
I think it's Vinicius.
Yeah, that's close enough. They play for Juventus. Everyone plays for Juventus. Every football player ever plays for Juventus.
I honestly can't believe you said Juventus earlier.
I don't know.
It's like when I was younger and thought it was Real Madrid instead of Real Madrid.
Yeah.
This is the Real Madrid, not the fake Madrid. It was like Real Madrid against fake Madrid in Undertaker.
Oh, goodness. You know, because we mentioned it on I believe the latest edition of Quizlemania, how the list that was put up on WrestleTalk on YouTube a few months ago, the 10 worst WWE main events of all time. I assisted Adam Blampied in writing that list, and I put Real Undertaker versus Fake Undertaker on that list, and he removed it, which is appalling to me because that match is just atrocious. Jay White is gouging out Will Ospreay's eyes while they battle on the top rope. Jay White, oh goodness, hits a huge drop kick to the back. I was going to
whoa.
Whew. Jay White's not one to do much flying in this company. So him on the top rope doesn't quite work for his style. And now, Ospreay did this in the last match as well. Looks like he's going to go coast to coast.
White rolls out of the ring like a heel. Oh, and Ospreay does his handspring out of the ring onto both Gado and White. Taking out Gado could be the key here to give Ospreay a win, as Gado has seriously assisted White in all of his wins so far. A 450 springboard all results in a near fall for Ospreay. Yeah, you'd think he's going to have to at least hit an Oz Cutter or a
Stormbreaker.
Exactly. I almost call it a Storm Zero, but that is not his move.
No, that's someone else's move.
Yes.
STR says, question for Tempest, since he's requesting name the 3 pre-show matches on Mania 33 and the winners. Well, one was Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental title, which Dean Ambrose won. One was Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight title, which Neville won and retained. And the other was the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which was won by Mojo Rawley with the help of Rob Gronkowski. Boom.
Was that really 33?
Yep. It was the one where the Hardys came back, and they were in Orlando.
Oh, it was outside. I often get mixed up between 33 and 31 just because they're both outside, and I just remember them being outside.
They had much better Jobber J just says Ambrose was on the pre-show. You damn right he was. After being taken number 2 overall in the draft the previous summer as WWE champion, he was then on the pre-show against Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Very depressing.
I mean, what's Dean Ambrose done since then?
Oh, I have no idea. You know, Dean Ambrose might have just died, honestly.
I know that I actually honestly haven't heard of Dean Ambrose for like about a year and a half.
Yeah, he just dropped off the face of the earth. Jay White had a big suplex looking thing and gets a near fall right there. Things have picked up. I don't know if I should say picked up. This match has had a pretty good pace throughout.
Jay White goes for the Switchblade. It's not called a Switchblade, is it? I always call it the Switchblade.
No, it's the Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. But Ospreay counters that into a pop-up powerbomb.
Ospreay's another one with a very excellent powerbomb in wrestling.
He goes for the Oz Cutter, and it's God, this is good commentary for me. And he hits the Oz Cutter. Oh, very near fall. Very, very near fall. So he went for the Oz Cutter. It was countered into a attempted Blade Runner, but then the Oz Cutter was eventually hit. It looks like he's setting up for a Stormbreaker. White looks a bit dazed. And instead of getting, White's good heel tactics there. He could see the knee coming from Ospreay, so he lay prone. That's become a bit of a common feature of Jay White matches, sort of outsmarting his opponent, just kind of stopping them from doing the move they want to do because he knows what's coming next. It's very, very clever.
It's a very weird kind of like it's almost breaking kayfabe, where it's like if you didn't want to do a wrestling move, you just do this. You just be like, nope, not getting up. Just go prone. So I mean, it works in both a real fight. I get, although in a real fight they would probably just beat you senseless while you lay on the ground. But in the world of wrestling, you need to do a crazy acrobatic move in order to win a fight.
Red Shoes is down. He's been tripped, and he's selling it like his arm fell off. Gato enters the ring, tries to hit Ospreay with the brass knucks. Gato is down throwing a sort of discus forearm, but this does feel once again like we're going to get a low blow.
Oh
no, Ospreay blocks it. Kick to the head, another kick to the head. I am a bit bored of Gato interfering. There I said it. Oh
goodness.
But yeah, someone has mentioned that Ospreay has forgot that his leg hurts completely.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
Oh my God, what the hell was that? A sort of running back elbow to the back of the head. And here comes a Stormbreaker, it seems. Yeah, and this could be Jay White's first loss. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Will Ospreay has, let's not say dethroned, but delivered Jay White's first loss.
Halted his momentum for
G1.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Blade and a Stormbreaker.
Finally, someone was able to fight off Gato successfully, because that was getting a bit tiresome. The fact that Gato was always getting involved.
Yes, I must agree. Unfortunately,
that was one of these. It was a very weird ref bump.
Yeah, I don't know that being put in a drop toe hold is going to cause you a great deal of pain. As someone who has been in drop toe holds, I can almost guarantee you that it's not.
That felt like almost felt like a main event. I have to say that was a very good match. We've been asked who's better, Matt or Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff, in his prime, was a better wrestler, but Matt is a better character worker.
I think that's probably right way to go. I love the Hardys. Jeff Hardy was the reason I started watching wrestling in the first place. So to see him still putting on a fantastic ladder match like we saw on Sunday is a real treat. I just hope that it doesn't involve him being in a wheelchair years down the road.
I think.
Jazz,
Sorry, no. Oh no, I was going to say I think the most I've popped in my life for a wrestling moment was the Hardys returning.
I'm not going to post this video anywhere, but a video does exist of my reaction to the Hardys coming back, and I will, through no exaggeration, say it was one of the greatest moments of my life.
But what about the birth of your children or your wedding day?
Oh yes, those two things that have absolutely happened already in my life. You know, well, they've got to live up to that.
Well, I was going to say when you get married and have kids, I'm going to send this video to your wife and children so they can see that you once said that the Hardys returning to WWE was a better moment than either of their birth or wedding day.
They got to live up to that standard. Christopher Jazzcat says, I got into Ring of Honor watching Raven versus Punk because I loved Raven from ECW, then came to love Punk and watched all his matches. Then Joe and Danielson, then Steen, then all the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys showed up. I mean, Ring of Honor used to be just absolutely phenomenal. You should probably check out the Pure tournament that they're doing right now over on Fight TV. Absolutely excellent stuff. I've really enjoyed Ring of Honor these last few weeks. Goodness, I kind of lost track of the chat there waiting to read that one. This Orniz says, what do you think about long-haired wrestlers? I love long hair, but them wearing it open and having to remove it from the eyes constantly is stupid. I hate that all female wrestlers have to have it. It has its place. You know, obviously people have long hair in wrestling to make it easier to sell. You know, it's a lot easier to, you know, you take a punch and you whip all the hair back and it makes it look that much more impactful than, you know, a bald guy getting punched and just kind of throwing his head back a little bit, you know. But from an actual fighting, you know, legitimacy kind of standpoint, you know, there's a reason that UFC fighters all braid their hair before a fight. You know, it doesn't make sense to keep getting it in their eyes.
The hidden blade is that spinning for a back elbow. Yes, no, I did see the Ibushi match. That was pretty rough. I don't really want to watch that again. What was I going to say? No, someone mentioned the Raven Punk match. That is basically if you asked Ollie and Luke to book a match, that's what would happen. That is Luke and Ollie's favorite wrestlers, respectively. So,
yeah. Movie Nation, I believe he's talking about New Japan, says, for an American looking to subscribe, I'm just wondering if I'm able to sign up and pay like I would for any other type of streaming service. If you're looking to watch New Japan, that's all you got to do. You got to just sign up for NJPWworld.com. If you're talking about Ring of Honor, their shows, as long as you sign up for an account, are free over on Fight TV. You just have to go make an account and log in. So you should be able to do that.
Yes. I think New Japan World is about the same price as a WWE Network subscription. And it's not just you can't just watch shows. You can't. It's not just live shows. It's all their back catalog as well. So you'll definitely get your money's worth.
Jobber JJ says that match had really great last 2 minutes. Completely agree. STR says Tempest is the true charismatic enigma. I am an enigma. You don't even know what I look like.
Tempest, how's your nose?
It's not great right now. I'll be honest. I'm kind of looking forward to this main event being over so I can take this mask off. I have been in contact with someone about possibly getting a new mask because this one is just not comfortable at all. Jobber JJ says Kurt Angle's debut in TNA was probably the biggest pop he had. He was 10 and had no concept of wrestling media. Wasn't it fun when we had no concept of wrestling media?
Sorry, everyone. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Everyone, if let's everyone just tell us, what was the biggest pop you ever had in wrestling?
Yeah.
Seriously, Andy, are you in an RV? Why would I be in an RV?
I don't think
Is
it
it
looks like
because
you're in an RV.
is it because the light?
Possibly.
I just basically, that way is east, and the sun comes up that way. So no matter if I draw my blinds, draw the curtains, there's still going to be light coming
Yes,
through. I'm afraid.
Light is beginning to come through into this room as well. That's how you know what time it is, as the sun is coming up. Flame Inc. thinks that CM Punk is overrated. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Christopher Jazzcat says he needs to catch up on the Pure tournament. He's only seen the first night. I very much would recommend it. Movie Nation says Tempest for the Pure Championship. Hey man, give me a shot, Ring of Honor. We'll make something happen.
I'm sorry, Mike Dempsey has said it's because I'm shaking up and down. That's I've got restless leg syndrome. So I've got ADHD and restless leg. So I've therefore have hyperactive restless leg, which means my legs are always shaking. Oh wow, this match is already beefy as hell.
This was one of my absolute favorite matches of last year. They were just absolutely phenomenal in the G1, and I'm expecting a match just as good here.
It's so much speed, but also just physicality.
Yes.
Like that start, like I know you can kind of get the kind of physical starts with Ishii and Suzuki, but the added kind of quickness of Takagi just added an extra dynamic.
I mean, I think Shingo Takagi is just about the most perfect in the ring, one of the most perfect wrestlers in the world. You know, he's strong and impactful, but he's also very agile and quick. You know, I just don't think it gets a whole lot better than him. Mike Dempsey asks, when is Tempest going to compete? As soon as it's bloody safe to.
Safe too.
I would have done it, but I mean, I would never have stopped if the world hadn't ended. But alas, it did. Mendez Israel says RVD to AEW ?
Well, he seems to be going to someone. Interestingly, WWE on their Facebook posted a video of an RVD match yesterday. And a lot of people in the comments are saying, is this a hint? And I wouldn't be surprised if it was. It's kind of, I think it's where he would probably want to end his career. So we'll see. We'll see. As long as, I mean, I guess I'll just have to ask him not to do too many drugs. Mike Dempsey says he feels bad now about my leg. It's fine. I've been living with it for 15 plus years, so I can deal with people asking why I shake so much. It's just the moment I bend my leg, it starts going, hey. Yeah, much to the annoyance of anyone who sits anywhere near me, especially on the same couch or sofa. I have often been asked to move. I just genuinely cannot help it. The moment my leg bends, it just starts shaking.
Oh my goodness!
What a lariat!
Shingo Takagi did not have a whole lot on a few of those strikes there, as he appeared to be selling his back. But oh my goodness! Ishii got whipped into the goodness, I'm having a hard time here. Shingo Takagi hit a just massive clothesline on the floor. Oh my goodness. Talk about impactful. Mike Dempsey says RVD should join Private Party. If he goes back to WWE, perhaps we should see an RVD and Matt Riddle tag team. I think that would be...
that's exactly the sort of thing they would do, especially seeing as they appear to have just given up on Matt Riddle already on the main roster.
Yeah, what can you do? And Christopher Jazzcat says the biggest pop in recent years would be Zack Sabre Jr. beating Naito in the G1 because I did not expect it. I had LIJ fans on Twitter sending me abusive messages and blocking me because of how gloaty I was. That's wrestling for you. I honestly... As far as, I don't know if I popped huge because it was, late at night and whatnot, but I remember that match and being absolutely shocked I thought Naito was going to win the G1 that year, and that was like the final night of the competition. So him losing that match meant he was out. And I remember sitting on my couch watching that show and just jaw dropped, hands on the head, like, oh my God, you know, my pick is out. I couldn't believe it. And it was a good match. Shingo Takagi is completely taking control of this match here, as they've now gotten back in the ring from fighting at ringside. Again, this is a very beefy match. Antonio Correa and Christopher Jazzcat are having a conversation here, talking about how the New Japan U.S. expansion hasn't worked out. Well, when all of your top U.S. wrestlers leave the company very quickly, that tends to be the case, unfortunately. And the Pokemart, we've got at least one Pokemon fan here in the chat, and I didn't know that a building could send a message, but regardless, the Pokemart says, is it odd that I had a dream last night seeing a match graphic for Will Ospreay versus Shingo Takagi inside Hell in a Cell? Yeah, that would be a bit strange, but you know what? It would likely be much better than the recent Hell in a Cell matches we've seen in WWE. It choked me up to see how bad they were.
I've just looked up how to treat restless leg syndrome, and it says regular exercise during the day. It's like, well, thanks, coronavirus.
So much for that. Jobber JJ chimes in, stiff as a horse. You know, I was thinking about this earlier, and people in the chat here can chime in. STR says that Becky and Sasha was great. It was great. I will say that was a very good Hell in a Cell match, and I did enjoy it very much. That being said, my question was going to be what people thought was the worst nickname in pro wrestling, because personally, right now, I think it's Jake Hager. I absolutely, oh my goodness, I'm getting choked up thinking about it. I hate the name Rock Hard Jake Hager. Absolutely just bleh.
It does sound like a porn star.
A little bit. And hearing stiff as a horse over and over again just makes me think of that. And I don't...
I'm a rock hard stiff horse.
Yeah. Let no one ever talk about being stiff as a horse in a Jake Hager match, because that is just bad. And John Elite has a very interesting, or no, it's not John Elite. It was Movie Nation, right? I can't even. No, it's Mike Dempsey. All the chats moved at the same time.
Well done.
He suggests that I team with Andy Datson to go for the Cliffomania Tag Team Championships.
I would not be helping you, but I'm happy to play along.
Well, I mean, you have more championships in Quizlemania than I do.
That's true. I have more than most. I think I've probably got the third most amount of titles, which is 2, because I think only Luke and Sean have won it more than once. What was I going to say? Do we think that Scarlett will ever be in ring competition in WWE? I think so. Probably if they bring her up to the main roster, because that's what they do. You don't have to put 9 question marks at the end of it. We do understand that is a question. But thank you for your being so keen. Registration names are terrible. Yes, they are. That is not a hot take, but thank you for it.
Yes. And Valab says the Usos and the New Day was also an excellent Hell in a Cell match.
Yes, it was.
There have just been too many really, really stupid ones.
Yes, it's just become a thing where it's like, we've got a feud here. I guess we'll put it in Hell in a Cell, even if it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to do that. Especially if it's just a match, which, as Adam said yesterday during the morning meeting, which is it's just a match that happens to be in a box. Because sometimes they just never use the fact that they're in a box. There was the Mark Henry Randy Orton match where they may as well not have been in a cell at all.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Tomohiro Ishii was inviting Shingo Takagi to hit him and kick him, and now he's had enough and just continues to chop Shingo right in the goddamn throat. I will say that if I'm ever wrestling Tomohiro Ishii, I will ask him politely not to chop me in the goddamn throat, because that just is no bias. Like, and also, if perhaps you want to get a look at my face, one of the few places you can do that nowadays, you can go and search the old video that I did on the WrestleTalk channel of how WWE ruined the Hell in a Cell match. And that was before The Fiend and Seth Rollins absolutely, had an abysmal match inside that big red box. You can check that out, how WWE ruined the Hell in a Cell match, over on WrestleTalk. You might get a glimpse at what's underneath this mask.
I recommend you don't do that. It's horrible. That's why he wears a mask.
It's true. The Zornese says, Tempest, are you wearing a Roman Reigns hat? Yes, I am, because Roman Reigns is bloody brilliant.
I'm wearing the WrestleTalk hoodie, which you can get at WrestleTalkmerch.com. I recommend it.
And you should. Movie Nation asks, what is the best match of the G1 so far? Honestly, right now, it might be the Will Ospreay and Shingo Takagi match from the last show that we reviewed. It was Tetsuya Naito and Hiroshi Tanahashi, in my opinion, for a while, but I think that one might have edged it out. Oh, a huge wheelbarrow German suplex from Shingo Takagi there. As you might expect, this match has been excellent as well. Movie Nation.
Takagi's got so much speed.
I love him. It's not often you see a power wrestler have such a great, like, so much speed and so much agility.
He's got a very strange body shape, though.
Yeah. That doesn't bother me. I love his work no matter what.
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just it's sort of almost Chris Jericho like.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when this is all over, can I get a Shingo Takagi Chris Jericho match? Because I would very much like to see that. And these two exchange. Oh, hit a real big punch and then a clothesline. Trading clotheslines.
Takagi gets on top, but then Ishii's on top, and now they've done a kind of meet in the middle clothesline. Oh, they've done it again. Oh, wow. Good selling.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Mike Jones asks, in his opinion, the best WWE tag division is NXT UK. Agree or disagree? I don't watch enough NXT UK to have a proper opinion of it. I mean,
I'll just agree. Yes.
Sure.
Good point.
Just because I don't think tag teams really exist anywhere else in WWE, unfortunately. Even somewhere like NXT, the American version, Undisputed Era, kind of being a tag team again, sort of, kind of, but not really. And then
I haven't looked at NXT tonight. Is there a number one contender match for the NXT Tag Championships? Okay, because I was going to say there is no match as of yet for the belt.
Got people talking about TNA Lockdown, which was the all steel cage match.
Oh, sorry, just a very wobbly superplex.
Anytime people try and balance themselves on the ring post, I get a little nervous. Zornese says that we have excellent taste in clothing and in wrestling. Of course, get all of your merch from WrestleTalk merch.
Get all of your clothes from WrestleTalk. Yes,
your entire.
We don't sell trousers, pants, or underwear, but you can modify the other clothes to look like those. You don't have to wear underwear or trousers.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working from home. Just walk around in a t-shirt.
Or you can get one of those sweaters, but get it 5 sizes too big, and it can be a dress.
Or you can buy a WrestleTalk coffee cup. Gutbuster from Takagi. Get a coffee cup and use that to cover up your manhood.
I don't know how well that would go out in public, but at least at home. Memphis Graceland says Winnie the Pooh style. Absolutely. That's exactly what we mean. I don't know what it's in relation to here, but Johnny Walker, that's an alcohol. Johnny Guitar says his name is Braden Walker, the greatest WWE superstar of all time. That's a deep cut and an old wrestling internet meme for anyone too young to know about it.
I'm too young. Ishii's been hit by a very not the greatest DDT I think I've ever seen, but he sort of didn't quite hit his head. Oh,
Shingo Takagi now.
Oh, he doesn't. Near fall from Takagi.
Hits made in Japan. Very good stuff. Christopher Jazz. Oh, goodness. There's a lot of decent questions here. Memphis Graceland says, Tempest in a mask and a beanie isn't the visual I thought I needed to lift my spirits, but here we are. Fantastic. Hey, man. I got you. This is the Canadian special here. You know, if this was a goalie mask, you'd really have it all covered. John Elite says, what's more painful, Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber? If you're talking about the old Elimination Chamber, by far and away that one. There's no match that makes me cringe more than an old Elimination Chamber where they've got the grated floor out on the outside. People would get their backs cut open on that thing just from taking a bump on it. I
have to say, Hell in a Cell, if you're just thrown against the cell, I don't think it would hurt all that much. It's more kind of like chicken wire. Which unless you get your hair caught in it, it's just a sort of it's a slightly bendy fence. So while it might be uncomfortable, the old Elimination Chamber is certainly much more unpleasant.
Yes. And Valib says Ishii doesn't know what a throat is. That's a very good point. He doesn't have a neck, so I guess by association he doesn't have a throat.
Yeah, it'd be hard to assassinate him because you would have to try and cut his his chest. Yeah,
might have some positive uses not having a neck.
Shingo he's trying to make sure Shingo doesn't have a neck by dropping him on it.
The big back suplex.
Another one.
Oof. The Pokemart is back saying, which G1 tournament has been your favorite? That's tough. There have been some really good ones in recent. Honestly, last year's might have been my favorite. The amount of great matches in last year's tournament was just absolutely off the charts. But really, if you said any of the last 3, I wouldn't argue with you. You know, the 2017 one was absolutely excellent. 2018 had so many great matches, but it also had the Bullet Club guys ruining too many of those matches. You know, if they didn't have that, I would probably say 2018. But otherwise, any of the last 3. STR says he always thought Sheamus's The Great White was a stupid nickname.
It's not the stupidest nickname I've ever heard.
He is big and he is white. It's I've heard worse, but I don't know. The whole presentation of Sheamus in 2012 was not particularly good. And Jobber JJ says getting thrown off the top of the cell sucks. Yeah, you don't typically get thrown off the top of an elimination chamber, so at least Hell in a Cell has that for it.
It was Otis who ran through the elimination chamber last time.
That is right. The big dumb idiot.
Hey, Liam might be watching this.
Yeah, I know. They really put the money in the bank on that guy.
They did, and I'm almost certain they're about to take it off him as well.
Yeah, it's depressing. Ooh, big clothesline from Ishii for a near fall. It feels like that was like, hey, this will be really funny for like 2 weeks.
And then they were like, "Oh crap,
forgot about
Roman's coming back. How on earth are we supposed to make Otis not look like an idiot? Because if he tries to dethrone Roman, everyone's gonna be like, what the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
Imagine if like it's Roman. I don't know who Roman's facing at the next pay-per-view, but not Burning Hammer, but sort of reverse Burning Hammer.
So a Death Valley driver.
That's the one. Yeah, I don't know who they thought he was going to, because at the time it was the Fiend and Braun Strowman who were kind of feuding.
Shingo Takagi firing up, sort of. He
Who
fired
were feuding, and therefore you couldn't really have Otis cash in one of them. You certainly can't have Otis cash in and beat Roman Reigns. So unless Otis holds on to it until there's someone who's a less credible champion, which I don't think is going to be a very long time. I can't see anyone beating Roman for months and months.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I honestly don't know who they're going to build up to beat Roman, because it's going to be the biggest baby face, unless it's just Brock.
I don't know that he's going to beat him, but I could definitely see eventually a big match between Roman and someone like Big E, maybe.
Well, I think the current plan, and here's my fancy booking. It's probably been done by lots of people, but Roman beats Jay, as he has done. I could see them doing like a Jimmy thing next. I can see Roman attacking Rikishi. I think Roman is going to kill as many Samoan people connected to the Anoa'i family. He might even try and get someone who, I don't know, like what's his face from. Isn't one of Roman's like cousins in ROH or something?
MLW, yeah, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I could see them getting like him in for a match, and then that's how you build to a Rock Roman match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I can really, because the whole thing is him like being the head of the family.
Yeah,
I can absolutely. I think that is what Vince is currently creaming himself about. The possibility.
I want to see that match. The Rock and Roman Reigns. Holy smokes, yes, please. Oh, they're headbutting each other in the head. Stop doing that.
But if they're going to do Rock Roman Reigns, that has to be in front of a crowd. You cannot do that match.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that they should do it if it's not safe, but if you're going to do it, make sure that you will be able to do it in front of a crowd, because that would be arguably the biggest match of, I don't know, the last 10 years.
Yeah. Shingo Shingo hits a GTR in the ropes. That's interesting. Ishii wasn't looking at really putting up with much more of Shingo Takagi, but that one has just absolutely leveled him. The Zornese with a super chat saying, wearing my Pledge Hammer shirt, Roman Reigns shirt next time. Support the boy.
It could be a Royal Rumble shirt.
Oh, that too.
Or a Ronald Reagan shirt.
That one might be a bit of a stretch. And Christopher Jazzcat says, "Oh God, those headbutts." Well, yeah, I'm not a fan of crazy headbutts.
Or a Riley Reid shirt.
I'm gonna pretend I don't know who that is.
I don't know who it is either. I just hear people talking about it.
Oh yeah, of course. Mike Jones asks, Wrestle Kingdom 14 featured a women's match from Stardom, sort of a match, but do you think there will be more women's matches in New Japan, or was it just a one-off? I could see them doing it for something like a Wrestle Kingdom, but I don't think they're really gonna integrate at all. It's better kept separate, honestly. And then more, we got Jobber JJ chiming in again, stiff as a horse. This match is stiff as a horse.
It really is a stiff. I don't like when you're saying stiff as a horse. Are you genuine? Are you talking about a horse's member, or are you just saying a horse is stiff?
Probably like getting like kicked by a horse would be
yeah,
stiff.
That would hurt.
Terry Funk will attest to that.
Mm.
And Ashrith asks who I think will be the next big star from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Shota Umino. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. And when he gets back from Excursion, as Ishii hits a big swinging tornado DDT there, when Shota Umino gets back from Excursion, I think he has all the tools to be New Japan's next top star. He's just absolutely phenomenal. I love him dearly.
Japan's next top model.
Yeah. Valab asks, what are my thoughts on the King of Pro Wrestling title? I think it's stupid. It's not what I really watch New Japan for. It doesn't look like they're really... I guess we'll have to watch and see how things go after the G1. But, yeah, not a fan. I just think it's kind of dumb and gimmicky and not what people watch New Japan for. And a lot of people kind of chiming in that Shota Umino is the next ace of the company. He's the next Tana. Absolutely. He's just, I can't say enough good things about him. He's so good, so young. He has the look. He's just the perfect young wrestler. Oh, Ishii hits a
near fall
clothesline for a near fall. Jobber JJ saying the crowd is loving this match. Yeah, me too. Absolutely loving this match. And I love that you can have a match like this.
Is that a brain? It's sort of a brain buster. One,
buster, that'll do it.
3. That's it.
Tomohiro Ishii is on the board.
That's his first win and much deserved. Oh boy!
Good for Ishii. Good for him.
Absolutely. What's that make Takagi? Is he 2 for 2 now? Let's have a look. No, Takagi is 1 for 3.
Yeah, they're both 1 and 3 now. That's very interesting. Well, I don't think either of them is going to win the tournament, but they can have great matches, more like that one. Don't know if it was quite as good as last year, but that was very
good. I mean, that's the best match I've seen so far in this tournament.
Yes.
Because I didn't see Sunday.
Yeah, unfortunately, you missed the best show of the tournament thus far. But that may have been the best match. Probably, I would say top 3. At the worst, it's top 3.
Yeah.
This, Tanahashi and Naito and Shingo and
they're still hitting each other. Oh, stop it. That was funny. Headbutting each other while lying on the ground.
It's a fight. That's got to be what you do in a fight. Mike Dempsey says, what do you think about Cage's title in AEW, the FTW title? I was like, I'm not offended by it, but I don't think it really has added much. Yeah. It's just like, oh, he's got a belt now.
Takagi looks like a love child of Chris Jericho and Shinsuke Nakamura.
I've always thought he looked a bit like Shinsuke Nakamura, but just kind of like uglier in a way. like not in a bad way. Just like Shinsuke Nakamura looks almost model-esque. You know, he looks like, a pop star kind of. He's got that like, oh, he's the Michael Jackson of New Japan, whereas Shingo Takagi looks like he's been in a fight and he wrestles like it. So thumbs up for the look of Shingo Takagi and also his wrestling and everything that goes with it. Valib says a Mox Shota reunion, please. I would absolutely love that. Make that, like, bring Shota Umino to AEW for a stint. If they end up working together, have some of the young lions go and do excursions in AEW. I think that would be a tremendous way to utilize something like that. Memphis Graceland is back saying, man, I only have one device in front of me and keep jumping back and forth between watching the show and watching the stream. Totally not making decent time on either, but worth it. Well, I mean, you don't have to watch us necessarily. You can have this open in one tab unless you're on like a phone or something. Just listen to our sweet, sultry voices.
Yes, Ashworth says, Andy, do you think WWE and AEW should have bubbles now? Well, as in kind of quarantine bubbles.
Yeah, I would imagine he is saying kind of like the NHL has done in hockey, where you've got everyone kind of living in a hotel that would be connected to the to a building where they can go and wrestle. The NBA has done it.
So they should do that. However, it's very difficult because obviously they have families, they have friends, they want to live their lives basically. But I mean, if WWE want to keep doing wrestling, then I think that's the only safe way of. I mean, there was another outbreak last week, and that's going to keep happening if you don't just completely isolate.
Well, that's very interesting. Ishii did not cut a post-main event promo, so that basically brings that show to an end. I don't know if I've ever heard Ishii cut a promo, for that matter, but oh, that's interesting anyway.
Maybe his voice box is so compacted by his neck.
That is entirely possible. I hadn't thought of that. With the thing with the bubbles that's kind of difficult is like when you've got NBA or WWE or not WWE, NBA or NHL playoffs, there's like it will end by this date. And after that point, you can go home and spend time with your families and do whatever. In WWE, it would just be like, you just live here now because they don't have an off season. They would just go on and on and on. So that makes it definitely a bit more difficult. And another super chat here as we wind things down. From Jobber JJ saying another great show and stream, a good way to start the day. Well, I'm probably going to go back to sleep for a few hours after this.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be working for another 5 hours. But that's fine. That's fine. Yes, but I think, as you say, we'll wind things down now. Thank you all very much for watching the stream. We will be back tomorrow, in fact, for day 8. Brian, the Tempest is very excited. That's the first time I've slipped all stream. It'll be us two, and we may even have a Jam That Champion on the stream. We will have to find out tomorrow. But thank you very much for watching. Do click on the videos that appear on the screen. Give us a subscribe, like the video, share it with everyone you know. And yeah, just have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow for day 8. Bye.